So this is a tutorial to help you get through the first graded document for document processing, and that would be Correspondence 25-1. So you should be at lesson 25G, and you've completed that and you are ready to begin working on the next thing. So you click next, and here you see Correspondence 25-1 email message. So if you look to the left, you have instructions on what to do. We need to turn to page 85 in the textbook, and we'll want to look over the document that we're going to be typing. It's Correspondence 25-1. It's an email message, and there are a couple of boxes out to the side that give you some pertinent information about typing that document. This is more about how to go through the process of starting work on the document, uploading it to GDP, and then getting it to score your work. So we're going to start on number 1. We're going to download the file to begin work. We're going to start work, and yours may look a little differently from mine depending on the browser that you're using, but it pretty much works the same. We're going to open with Microsoft Word, so we want to make sure that option is chosen, and we're going to click OK. And it's going to take just a second for that to open up in Word. Now, the very first step you always want to do once you have opened the document is you want to go File, Save As. You want to go navigate on the left to your flash drive, open up your keyboarding folder, and you want to save this document. Now, you may choose to leave the file name just as it is. You may choose to change the file name, and that's perfectly fine. You could name it 25-1. just to make it easier to find, or you may leave it just as it is. That's totally up to you. But you'll want to click Save. So now I have saved that document in my flash drive in the keyboarding folder. The next step is you'll want to just type the document. You want to follow whatever guidelines you're given in the textbook. If it says to hit enter twice, you hit enter twice, and so on and so forth. Now, one thing I want to be sure of that I do before I get too far involved in typing is make sure that I follow the instructions, and you have already gotten these and printed these out for completing documents. And it's very important that you follow these steps here under number 2 when you are beginning to complete a document for GDP. Otherwise, you will get some errors that you won't get otherwise. So very quickly, I'm going to go back to my document. From the Home tab, I'm going to find Styles. I'm going to click Change Styles. I'm going to click Style Set, and I'm going to click Word 2003. With that done, I can begin typing up my document. Okay, so I have completed typing up the document, and I want you to pay attention to a couple of things. If you'll notice, I have several words that have red lines under them, and that indicates that they have a misspelling or there's something wrong. So before I ever try to upload this file back to GDP, that is something that I'm going to want to be sure and do. So if I right click on the word, I get a list of correct spellings, and I'm just going to choose the correct word. This will help you quite a bit as you are typing up your documents. I'm going to go change all of my errors, make them correct, just by right-clicking on the word that has a red line under it. Now this one, it should be make it easy, and I don't have easy as a choice, so I'm going to go ahead and correct that word. I'm going to right click on the next one, and just make sure. Now this one here I have repeated. I have typed "and" twice. I'm going to tell it to delete the repeated word. So my document looks pretty good. I don't think I have any more errors, and so I'm going to make sure that I save my document. That's very important. We save as when we first open the document. We want to make sure we save it to our flash drive in our keyboarding folder. Once we have completed the document, then we simply just need to save it. So now I've saved it and I'm ready to return to GDP, and I do that simply by closing Word. Now I'm ready to upload my document. So I'm ready for step 2. To upload a copy of my completed work, I need to click the Browse button. And then I need to find the saved file on my computer. Well, I know that I saved that in my flash drive in my keyboarding folder. There's my document, so I'm going to open it. This is going to spin for a moment. Once it stops spinning, then I have my submit button, submit work button becomes active. It's not active until it's finished. So now I can click Submit Work. And as you can see, I have 10 keyboarding errors and I have no formatting alerts. And if you read my instructions at all, you know that I do not accept any documents that have keyboarding errors. I will accept documents that have formatting errors, but your grade will be significantly lower based on the number of formatting errors you have. And as you can see, I have 10 keystroking errors. So in order to receive a grade, I would need to fix my document. I gotta fix the mistakes that I made. So I'm going to close my scoring results box. And then this next step is extremely important because it's how you can correct your file and submit it again so that you can get the best grade possible. So now I want to click the Edit Work button. It's going to open the last file that I uploaded to GDP, and that's exactly what I want it to do. So I'm going to click Edit Work. And it says you have chosen to open 25-1, and I want to open it with Microsoft Word. Takes it just a moment to open up. Now, very important to note now is that I have chosen to show formatting marks, and that way I can see exactly what I typed so that when I'm checking my document against the scoring results, I can figure out where my errors are. I'm going to choose to go to GDP and look at my scoring results, and my first error, it says hi, and then there's a red dot and it says Renee. And if I look back at my text, I can see that I was supposed to put a comma after hi. So I'm going to put my comma in. I'm going to go back to my scoring result. I'm going to find my next error, and it says THEA and a space mark. So this should be the paragraphs. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix that on my document. I'm going to go back to my scoring results, and I notice I have a red dot here at the end of my sentence. When I go back, my sentence looks perfectly fine, but you see that tiny dot that is right there? That is where I hit the space bar at the end of that sentence, and I didn't need to do that. So I'm going to take, using my backspace key, I'm going to take the space out, Now I'm going to go back to my scoring results, and it looks like I have 2 spaces between this comma and the W. So I'm going to go back to my document and find that, and sure enough I see 2 dots there, and there should only be 1. So I'm going to use my backspace key and correct that error. I'm going to use my scroll bar and go down a bit, and okay, making it easy. I should have IT instead of TI, and if you'll think about it, that didn't show up as a misspelled word under Microsoft Word, so you cannot solely rely on Microsoft Word to catch every error. It doesn't always catch every error. I'm going to change that to make it easy, and let's look at my next error. Okay, this error is green, meaning omission. That means that there is a word that should be here that is not. To contact you by including a signature. If I go back to my Word document, I can see that I put to contact you including a signature. I forgot the word by, so I'm going to type in BY in a space. Go to my next error, which is if desired, and again I hit spacebar at the end of my sentence. That's a very common error. Lots of students do that. You just take it out with your backspace key. Let's go down, and one more. I've got that once you click the send button, well, SEND space button, that looks fine. That once you click the send button, but if I look at my text, I can see that send was supposed to be capitalized. The S on send was to be capitalized, so I've got to change that. So pay attention to your text. Sometimes it looks fine, it looks correct, but it's actually not. Now that appears to be all the errors. Oh wait, I have 2 errors here, and they are blue, meaning that there's an insertion, which means that there's something here that should not be here. And if I go back to my document, what I can tell is that I hit the enter key twice after I finish typing my sentence, and it does not want those 2 enter keys. So I'm just going to hit my backspace key. It takes those 2 out, so now I'm at the end of my document and I have no extra spaces. So I think I have fixed everything that needed to be fixed. Now this is very important, this step, because if you don't do this correctly, you're going to wind up with a lot of duplicate documents, and you're not going to know which one is the right one and which one is the wrong one. Because if you'll remember, we saved your original document to your flash drive. So I have to be sure that I save this document over the former document. So I'm going to go to File and Save As again. I'm going to make sure I go to my flash drive and I open my keyboarding folder. And see, there's the document, but this is the original one that I saved earlier. I need to save this copy over this copy. So I'm going to hit Save, and see it says, now wait a minute, this file already exists. Do you want to replace existing file? And that is exactly what I want to do. I've corrected errors on the new file, and I need to save it over the old file. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, so big things to remember is that once you have finished all the editing that you need to do, you must save the new document over the old document. Once you've done that, you can return to GDP by closing Word, close the scoring results, and then browse, pick up your new saved document, submit that new document for grading. Now I have 0 errors. I corrected all my errors. I have no formatting alerts. So I'm finished with this document. I will receive 100 for it because I don't have any errors on it whatsoever. I can click Next to go to my next lesson. So watch this video a couple of times if you need to, because this is important. It's important that you know. It will save you much time, frustration, and energy if you will simply follow the steps and do it correctly.